Hi, everyone. We're live at the Paste Studios again in New York right now with the Get Right Band. Guys, thanks for coming here all the way from Asheville, North Carolina. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. So we've got, you're going to do 3 songs today, and one of them is off of the live record. You've got Live in Asheville is out right now. It was recorded at Asheville Music Hall, and the tune you're doing off that one was from your most recent studio record.
Right.
Who's in Charge. And then there's 2 brand new. Has anybody heard these outside of you guys, the 2 new ones?
People have heard them live. I don't think there's any kind of recording or video of them out there anywhere. So this is maybe an internet debut.
Cool. Internet debut of a couple of songs. And then we've got, I didn't tell anybody, Paste didn't tell anybody about what's coming up fourth.
It's
I don't know
top
if
secret.
You guys did or not.
We haven't told anybody.
I'm not going to ruin the secret.
I haven't even told them.
Yeah. So we've got a 4th song, which is a little special surprise. And can you tell us what's coming up first?
Yes, this first song is the song that Brad was just talking about from our live album. This is called Requiem for the Chemical Memory.
I've got some memories in glass jars, a living cemetery of fallen stars. There's a laboratory inside my head. I raise the dead.
J'ai des souvenirs dans des bocaux en verre, un cimetière vivant d'étoiles déchets. Il y a un laboratoire dans ma tête. Je fais des croquettes fermées, je relève les mains. Je relève les mains, je relève les mains, je relève les mains.
Tenho algumas memórias em frascos de vidro. Estrelas caídas. Há um laboratório dentro da minha cabeça. Estou fazendo férias de
Some memories in glass jars. I live in a cemetery of falling stars. There's a laboratory inside my head. I'm making Frankenstein. I'll raise the dead. Turning smiles into ones and zeros. Turning friends into enemies and heroes. Turning lives into screens and clear those memories away. Memories away. Big pose cause we want to lift those big days that shine like the cosmos. Big plug, big drug, let's us give those memories away. Memories away. I've got some memories in glass jars, a living cemetery of falling stars. There's a laboratory inside my head. I'm making Frankenstein. I raise the dead. Some memories in glass jars, a living cemetery of falling stars. And there's a laboratory inside my head. I'm making Frankenstein. I'll raise the dead. Flipping back through my history, it's just a click or two for me. I don't not lack in clarity, no, it suits me fine. It suits me fine. I need a little bit of fog to help me. me. I need a little storytelling alchemy. I like my chemical memory. Suits me fine, it suits me fine. Thank you guys, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Can you talk to us a little bit about, in case people are just discovering you now on this live stream, can you talk about the origin, how you guys, I mean, you're young dudes to have been playing together for 21 years.
Yes, Jesse here, he and I have been playing together for 21 years. Just out of the womb, we started playing together. No, we met in middle school and played in a bunch of punk bands and pop punk bands and funk bands and rock bands and reggae bands. And we put this band, the Get Right Band, together about 8 years ago, I guess, and brought JC on board. And we've just been rocking and touring and recording ever since.
Cool. And smashed every one of those formative bands into one band.
Totally, that's right. And then added all JC's influences, which have a lot of overlap, but also have some different stuff that he brought to the table.
Cool. Well, I'm enjoying this a lot, and we got
Thanks.
So you're doing 3 originals, and then the oh man, I'm already blowing the surprise. There's a 4th song. It's a song.
It's definitely a song.
Yeah, for sure that's gonna happen. Can you tell us what's coming up second?
Yes. So we're gonna play a couple tunes from the record that we're working on recording right now. We're in the tracking phase, getting ready to move to the mixing phase. This is a song called Fire with Rain, which I wrote. We did a Kickstarter, and one of the levels of support, this is years ago, was, I guess, for our last album, or the one before that, but one of the levels of support, you could get a song written for you. So Ellen and George Snowden supported us on the Kickstarter, and they asked us to write a song about our experience on the road, our experience as a touring band, what it means to us, the highs, the lows. And this is the song that came out of that. This is called Fire with Rain. We fight fire with rain. We fight fire with rain. We draw crazy constellations on old familiar maps, and we build roads to the future, but we come here from the past, and we make daily sacrifice to every god we've resurrected. We move like new age shamans, secure the disconnected. Guided by angels as we navigate these devils, always searching for the meaning, we're always searching for the levels, and here we are, hawking magic to the disbelieving masses with a pink neon sign lit by vaudeville's ashes. We fight fire with rain. We fight fire with rain. We peel off one mask just to slide into another, and we reflect to the world the foolish folly of struggle. And we beseech you to think, because thoughts can make love, but we invite you to forget, sometimes thinking is too much. We rub wood together, we wage war with the fire, like cultural warriors with a nomad's empire. The need swells from inside, there was never a choice. You are obliged to sing loudly if you are given a voice. Does fire with, we fight fire with rain. We fight fire with, we fight fire with, we fight fire with rain. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And thank you, George and Ellen. Was that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, good for you guys. The whole system worked. That's a great song.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about, we were starting to get into the influences conversation. I was wondering what were some of the specifics that you and Jesse bonded over when you guys were coming up as kids, and also JC, what did you bring to the table specifically?
I feel like, at least with Silas and I, a lot of Led Zeppelin, Beatles, all the classic stuff that kids from the 80s, grew up with. And Silas was very heavily influenced by Sublime. I love Sublime.
So those guys, they were here like 2 weeks ago.
I watched it.
Sublime
it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then, the Chili Peppers, love those guys. Like, one of my favorite bands is Primus. It was kind of like the core, few bands that we all kind of love. And then JC came along and brought a little, he's interested in a lot of the same stuff as us, but a little bit more like harder stuff, like Mars Volta and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we had the classic rock stuff in common for sure. The Doors was another one. And then I got super into jazz and Miles Davis and John McLaughlin, Mahavishnu Orchestra and all that stuff, and kind of went down that rabbit hole. But obviously, a lot of that isn't exactly applicable to what we're doing. But I feel like it just, listening to that kind of stuff kind of opens you up to possibilities, and that was kind of the most powerful thing that I took from all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I always think it's cool too as a songwriter to think about how the taste of the guys in the band affect the songs, because JC introduced us, but got us more into bands like Mars Volta, or he's also really into Incubus, which is a band that I always liked but never really dug too much into.
Dude, Brandon Boyd was here 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
too.
Nice. I missed that one. And they're great. So from listening to stuff on the road, there's that influence, but there's also just when I'm writing songs, sometimes I'm like, oh, JC's gonna love this, or oh, this is a perfect place to highlight, Jesse with the fretless bass or whatever. So it's cool to kind of pull in those influences, and obviously, just like everyone, our influences are changing. So as we start listening to new stuff, that starts impacting things as well.
Nice. Well, I like the blend that you guys have figured out.
Thank you very much.
I want to show you, JC, afterwards. There's a bunch of Miles Davis tapes right over there. There's some John Coltrane tapes. There's some Mahavishnu stuff in the other room as well. Yeah. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about the production process of Live in Asheville. Yeah. And it seems like Echo Mountain is a facility that has a recurring role in your band, from who's in charge to the role that it also played in the live record.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the similar? I mean, I have no real concept of what it's like to make a live record versus making one in the studio.
It's so different.
Talk about some of the similarities or just the complete differences.
Totally. Yeah. So we're from Asheville. None of us are from there originally. JC's from Jersey, and Jesse and I grew up in Maryland. But we all live in Asheville. We've been there for a long time. And Echo Mountain is kind of the premier studio there in the region, and the head engineer there, Julian Dreyer, is awesome to work with and brilliant. And so we made our third record, Who's in Charge, at Echo Mountain with Julian, and that was just an awesome experience working with somebody as experienced as Julian and working in a facility that's that high end, but also just comfortable and nice to be in. So then when we went to record the live album, we pulled Julian in to actually record it live from Echo, but we played it at a venue, Asheville Music Hall there in Asheville. And then we actually decided to mix it ourselves. JC in particular had been kind of interested in what that experience would be like, so we studied up and learned stuff, and obviously we've been learning things, watching all the engineers we've worked with over the years. And we brought Julian in as kind of a consultant at times, but I mean, one of the major differences, jump in if you guys want to say I had a lot of caffeine this morning. One of the huge differences is isolation versus lack of isolation. So in the studio, my amp and Jesse's amp are in completely isolated rooms. JC's in obviously all the drums blend together, but all the drums are isolated. I do vocals. We each do vocals separate, isolated. So everything... if you want to turn down my voice, it doesn't affect anything else. Live, it's the complete opposite. Everything is bleeding into every microphone. So if you turn down my voice, it also turns down the drums. So it's kind of like, in some ways, I think it's harder, or at least we felt that way at first. But you also kind of see that it kind of works in your advantage in a way, because sometimes in the studio, you're fighting that isolation. You're trying to make it sound all very natural, which in the studio, we do play live together, but the physical spaces are separate. So live, it kind of has that bleed, which is challenging, but also makes for this, it sounds like we were all there in the same room playing a live show, because that's exactly what we were doing. And of course, you have the audience. That's the other big difference. Like we're all, I think probably all bands are, but we talk a lot about the energy from the audience and that give and take, and that sort of thing that happens when we're really into it, and then the audience is really into it, so we're more into it, so they're more into it.
Yeah.
And that's the best. That's the ultimate main, I would say, number one thing that is cool about playing music.
Yeah,
so when
cool that thing about seeing music too. I mean, it's that reciprocal relationship.
Exactly.
There.
So when that gets going, which does not happen in the studio, that's another added layer. Like, we definitely play different with that energy than we would in a studio.
Nice. Well, hopefully, people who are tuned in right now, if you're in the New York area, come check out that energy. It's going to happen at New Blue Classic in Alphabet City tonight. And yeah, that is happening. It's on Avenue C. It's a wonderful venue. You guys are going to make it reverberate in the right way. So,
yeah, 8 o'clock tonight at New Blue Classic.
Yeah. Well, dude, enjoy that show. Have a great time. We've got 2 more songs coming up in this session. What's coming up next?
This is another new one from the album that we're recording right now, which doesn't really have a name yet, the album, but the song is called Itchy Soul. I can't stand my reflection. All I see is imperfection, and it spreads like an infection. Every day I'm disrespected. I can't stand all this rejection, and it spreads like an infection. Hey, 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 I got an itchy soul. Hey, 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 I got an itchy soul. And I'm giving up control. Always looking for affection, always feeling disconnection, and it spreads like an infection. Despite all my protection, I fell for the misdirection, and it spreads like an infection. Hey, 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 I got an itchy soul. Hey, 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 I got an itchy soul. And I'm giving up control. I wanna let go, I wanna not know, I wanna not feel, I wanna just heal, I wanna like you, I wanna like me, be just like you. Do you like me? Hey, 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 I got an itchy soul. Hey, 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 I got an
Right. Thanks again, guys. So how do we want to do this next? Do you want to talk about what's coming up next, or do you want to just get into it and we can talk about the significance afterwards? How are you feeling?
Let's talk about it.
All right. Yeah, so Jeff Buckley is the celebration of the 25th. It is the 25th anniversary celebration of the album Grace on August 23rd is the 25-year anniversary. And so we asked you guys to come through and do any Jeff Buckley cover from that record. A Jeff Buckley song, so not Hallelujah. Not Hallelujah, which is on that record, and a wonderful song, and everybody likes playing that song. But you guys chose, well, tell us what you chose and why did that resonate with you?
Yeah, well, we're going to play Lover, You Should Have Come Over. So there's a few ways that we came at this, and JC actually knows that song from Jamie Cullum, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I was not very familiar with that song, but I have listened to Jeff Buckley and really like what he's done, and have also listened to some live, got into a couple like bootleg live albums of his years ago. And that, there's something so like quirky about his songwriting. It's never straightforward. It's always got these weird twists and turns, and Lover, You Should Have Come Over is no exception. And we kind of dug that about it and thought it would be a cool challenge. It's so Jeff Buckley. Like, it's really kind of feels so much like him. So we thought it would be a cool challenge to figure out how to make it sound like the Get Right Band. So we've been playing around with it for the last couple of weeks and kind of came up with our own version of it. Looking out the door, I see the rain fall upon the funeral mourners, parading in a wake of sabulations as the shoes fill up with water. Maybe I'm too young to keep good love from going wrong, but tonight you're on my mind, so you'll never know. Broken down and hungry for your love, with no way to feed it. Where are you tonight, child, when you know how much I need it? Too young to hold on, and too old to just break free and run. Sometimes a man gets carried away when he feels like he should be having his fun, much too blind to see the damage he's done. And sometimes a man must wait to find that really he has no one. So I'll wait for you and I'll burn when I ever see your sweet return. Oh, will I ever learn? Oh, lover, you should have come over. Lonely is the room, the bed is made, the open window lets the rain in. Burning in the corner is the only one who dreams he had you with him. My body turns and yearns for a sleep that won't ever come. Sometimes a man really gets carried away when he feels like he should be having his fun, and he's much too blind to see the damage he's done. Sometimes a man must wait to find that really he has no one. So I'll wait for you and I'll burn too late. You should have come over, 'cause it's not too late. You should have come over. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that was cool, man. That sounded great.
Thank you very much.
Did that make its way into your live show? Do you guys play this song now?
We played it live a couple times, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, dude, it sounds great. Thanks for doing that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Fun
challenge.
Yeah, totally. So happy 25th anniversary of Grace, of Jeff Buckley's Grace to
Yes,
you guys.
indeed.
And
Yeah.
congratulations
And to you.
again. Thank you to everybody. Live in Asheville is out right now.
Yes.
And dude, have a great show at New Blue Classic tonight.
Thank you.
That's 8 o'clock tonight.
8
in
o'clock
Alphabet
tonight.
City. And you're touring, I think, mostly the eastern states through the end of September.
Yeah. We're heading up to the Boston area for several shows in the kind of greater Boston area. And then actually Tuesday, we're playing in Philly at Theater of the Living Arts, opening up for UB40, which is going to be awesome. And then working our way back down through Maryland and DC and Virginia. And then, bouncing around our home southeast region for a few weeks.
Cool. Well, also all the details are up at thegetrightband.com, and best of luck with the current
Thanks,
process,
Brad.
with the
Thanks,
current
man.
record. Thanks for sharing those two songs with us today,
Our
and
pleasure.
all of it, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.